Hey guys, so I'm here with my Total Divas Season 9, Episode 1 review. I cannot believe the show made it to 9 seasons, but it's a really good show if you go back and you watch it. If you've never seen it before, it's actually a really, really good show. And so I've been watching it since 2013 when it came out. And 9 seasons later, I'm still watching the show. The reason why I watch the show is because it's about, if you've never seen the show's about the women wrestlers in the WWE. I think that it was important for WWE to give these women the show at the time that they did, because women weren't getting really any matches. Their matches were very short. Their matches would get cut all the time, and they didn't have any opportunities but the Divas Championship at the time. So ever since Total Divas had came out, we got to see more of the women wrestlers. We got to see how they train. We got to see their side of things working for the WWE, and we also got to see a side of them that we weren't able to see before. And so them broadcasting that, it has definitely brought so many more opportunities for the women wrestlers. Now they're not called divas anymore. They're called superstars, just like the male wrestlers are. They have 2 women's championships, the Raw and the SmackDown one. And then they also now have tag team championships. The women have also had matches that they've never been able to have before, like the Royal Rumble, Hell in a Cell, ladder matches, and things like that. So I think that this show definitely helped bring attention to women's wrestling. So the show starts off with introducing Ronda Rousey to the show, because Ronda Rousey has never been on Total Divas before, and Ronda Rousey had only been in the WWE for a year and a half at this point, and she had made her debut at the first Women's Royal Rumble, where she came out at the end of the Women's Royal Rumble to make it known to the world that she was joining the women's division in WWE, which I thought was really good. And so they want to give you a little background on Ronda Rousey, even though most of us already know Ronda's story because she's very well known. So she was talking about how she was born with the umbilical cord wrapped around her neck, and how her family didn't think that she was going to make it as a baby. She also had a delay in speech where she couldn't talk until very late in life. And so she was saying that around the time she was learning how to talk, that's when she got involved in sports. And that's when she ended up doing the Olympics, where she did pretty well in the Olympics, and she definitely got a medal for it. And then she went on to join the UFC, where she was champion and undefeated for a very long time. Please don't come into my comment section trashing her in the comment section, because I don't like seeing people trash someone. You may not like her, but she did have a very successful career, and she still has a successful career now. So please don't go trash her in the comment section of this video. So she always wanted to join the WWE, and so she got the opportunity to do so, and she did it, and she's done very well so far in the WWE. She's been on a break for a while now, though. It's been months. Like, I think the last time I seen her wrestle was at the last WrestleMania that we just had, and ever since then I have not seen her since in WWE, but I know that she's still a part of it. And I thought her storyline when she first got in was really, really good. Her feud with Stephanie McMahon and Triple H alongside Kurt Angle was a really good storyline. And I think her first match that she had at WrestleMania was a really good match. So Ronda has a farm in the back of her house called Rousey Acres that she has with her husband, Travis Brown. Once again, do not come into the comment section and say any rumors or anything about her husband in the comment section, because I don't care what goes on in their personal life other than what they put on the TV show. So I really don't care about that. So it's nice to see Ronda's soft side, because when she's around her family, her animals, and her husband, she seems so much softer. She's so sensitive. She cries, like she tears up when she talks about how much she loves her husband. And I just think it's really sweet to see a soft side of her, because we always see the hard side of Ronda Rousey, and we don't get to see a softer side to her. So that was definitely nice to see. So now they're introducing Natalya, and if you don't know who Natalya is, because if you don't watch the show or you don't watch wrestling, you probably don't know, Natalya is Jim the Anvil Neidhart's daughter, and she is Bret Hart's niece. Okay, so she's nervous about this Royal Rumble match, even though this is the second one for the woman. And I like that Nattie still gets nervous before her important matches, because I feel like that shows that she really takes her job seriously. And although she's a seasoned wrestler, that she's been around for a really long time, and she's actually a really good wrestler, she trains a lot of the other female superstars. I think it's good that she still gets nervous, because it shows that she still gives a damn about it. And so she was talking about how she's been drowning herself in her work ever since her father, Jim, passed away last summer. And in order for her to deal with that, she's been drowning herself in her work. Now, I don't necessarily agree with drowning yourself in work when you're grieving somebody's death or grieving something at all in your life, because I feel like you're holding back what you need to let out. But at the same time, if that's her coping mechanism, then that's her coping mechanism. So Nia Jax, okay, because this is the part where they introduce all the ladies slowly but surely. So Nia Jax, if you don't know who she is The Rock's cousin. She's the Usos' cousin. She's Tamina's cousin. All the Samoans in there are basically related to one another in their family. So Nia won the Women's Battle Royal, and that gave her the opportunity to face Ronda Rousey for the Women's Championship. Although she did not win the championship, she did get the opportunity to wrestle Ronda, which was something that she wanted to do. So she was also hated for a while because she had punched Becky Lynch in the face so hard that Becky's face was bruised. On one half of her face was completely bruised, and her nose was completely busted open, like bloody everywhere. I remember watching that episode of Raw and seeing her get punched in the face and how bloody Becky was. Becky took it like a champ though, but Nia definitely broke her face. So now there's Sonya Deville, and Sonya was in MMA for a bit, and she's the first openly gay female wrestler in the WWE. And what I like about Sonya is the fact that she said she doesn't want her being openly gay define her. And I think that that's important, because a lot of the times when people come out and they're openly gay, they let them being gay define their whole career, define their whole life, and she doesn't want that. She just wants it. People enjoy her wrestling, people like her, and then they like also that she's openly gay. So that's how she wanted it, and I like that she did that. Hopefully they give Sonya more opportunities in WWE though, because I feel like she could bring more to the women's division than they've given her the opportunity to do. Carmela is also on this season of Total Divas, and she was talking about how the last time we had seen her, she was going through a really hard time because she went through her breakup with Big Cass. Big Cass was a wrestler in WWE as well, but I think he got fired, so he's no longer working for WWE anymore. And she was saying that when she was in that relationship, she changed who she was to be with him, and how he was controlling in that relationship, and how she felt suffocated in it, and that now that she's out of that relationship, she feels that she can be herself, and she's happy now, which is a good thing, because I feel like you should never stay in a relationship where you feel like you're being suffocated and where you feel like you're changing who you are for somebody else if it's not the changes you actually want to make for yourself. If somebody forcing you to make these changes, then I don't feel like it's a good idea to stay in that relationship. Now, if you're making these changes on your own because these are changes you really want to make in your life, then that's a different story. So I'm glad that she's out of that relationship if that's how toxic it was. Nia Jax, okay, this is the day of the Royal Rumble, okay, and Nia Jax pulls Tamina to the side. Now, Tamina and Nia are family members, so, I mean, she's going to feel comfortable talking to Tamina about this situation she's having, where she pulls Tamina to the side and tells her that she doesn't want to wrestle Carmela and how she doesn't respect Carmela's work. She was saying how Carmela is fake, and how Carmela's an ass kisser and she's phony. And now, if you know anything about Nia Jax, she definitely doesn't bite her tongue, and she really doesn't care too much about what anybody thinks about what she has to say. She's going to say whatever she has to say. And to me, that's not a bad thing about her, is that she's upfront and honest, but I do think that delivery is important, and the way she says things is just that she just doesn't give a damn. So she said that one time she had came from behind and jumped Carmela during a match, and Carmela spazzed out in front of everybody and made a big scene screaming how she really hit her and stuff. And what Nia was saying was this is just one of the instances of, as why she has a problem with Carmela. It's because she felt like Carmela, instead of making a scene acting like she was afraid to get hit, she should have pulled her aside and told her issue that she had with her during that match, instead of doing it in front of everybody for everybody to see. And I kind of agree with Nia with that, because I feel like if you have an issue with somebody, it's not something to be done in front of a bunch of people. I feel like you should always pull somebody to the side and talk to them about how you're feeling about something, and talk directly with that person and not just make a huge scene in front of everybody. So if that really did happen between her and Carmela, then I can see why Nia would have an issue with that. But as far as her saying Carmela's fake and phony and an ass kisser, I'd have to see that for myself for me to be able to believe that. So Nia says that Carmela is not embodying what the women's superstars are trying to do in the WWE, and that she's afraid to get hit. Because what the women are trying to do in the WWE right now is to prove that they're just as good as the men, and that they can handle these tough matches, and that they're not afraid to take a punch. Because in WWE, yes, it is fixed. The person who wins is already determined. The moves that they do are real. The only difference is that they try not to hurt one another. And sometimes you get hit, a lot of times you get hit for real. So she, I guess, hit Carmela in one of the matches by accident, and Carmela got pissed off backstage and she yelled in front of everybody instead of pulling her aside. So she feels like Carmela is making the women's division look bad at this point. Carmela comes in and she's walking towards Nattie. Nattie is Natalia, but for sure everybody just calls her Nattie. So she said that she can feel Nia's bad energy from afar. And I was laughing because Nia was literally like behind the wall that Carmela was at. So it was just like she said she could feel her negative energy coming towards her. And I thought that was funny. So she says she doesn't know why Nia doesn't like her. She said that maybe the incident in which Nia addressed earlier is probably why she doesn't like her, but she doesn't even know for sure if that's the reason why Nia doesn't like her. And she was saying to Sonya that she's got beef with that bitch right there, and she was talking about Nia, so she was pointing at Nia and told Sonya she's got beef with that bitch over there. I'm like, oh my god, because it's just so weird to see Nia Jax and Carmela have issues with one another. Carmela's so small and tiny, and then you got Nia Jax, who she's like a giant, and I'm just like, whoa, them two having issues with each other is so odd to me, because you would never think so when you watch wrestling. So Nia ends up going up to them and she sarcastically says that she's excited for the match. And why she sarcastically said it is because part of the Royal Rumble match, she has to get into a little bit of an altercation with Carmela during this match, and she's not excited to work Carmela at all. Because like she said before, she doesn't respect Carmela's work. So Carmela ended up asking Nia if they could talk sometime, and Nia was like, well, yeah, we can talk, but probably never. And I was just like, Nia, come on, you have to you have to learn how to be a little bit more professional, and just, if you don't want to talk to her, say straight up no. Or if you do want to talk to her, just tell her, yeah, you're open to talking to her, but you don't feel like it's the time to do it right now. And I just felt like Nia was purposely being shady towards Carmela, and I felt like it almost made her look immature. So Carmela goes up to her and asks her what's the problem. And so Nia ends up telling Carmela that she doesn't feel like she's genuine and she feels like she's fake. And so Carmela was completely hurt about it. The shock on her face was insane to me. She was so shocked and she started crying a little bit. And so Tamina and Sonya kind of comfort her a little bit to try to get her to stop crying, because it was definitely making Nia look bad by making her cry and saying that stuff to her. And I'm one for definitely being open and honest with people and letting people know how you feel. But I felt like in the moment that it was done in, it wasn't the right time. And I feel like instead of Nia engaging in the conversation with Carmela. She probably should have just told her that she doesn't want to talk to her right now, which she kind of did. And Carmela kind of brought it on herself by going up to her, asking her about it. But I just felt like the way Nia said it wasn't appropriate for the fact that the Royal Rumble match was literally going to start probably within an hour. And she's over there arguing with Carmela. And Carmela's now crying right before the second Women's Royal Rumble match, which is insane to me. So Jimmy Uso and Trinity end up showing up. Now, they call him Jimmy Uso in wrestling. That's his wrestling stage name. But I'm going to call him John, just so you guys know when I say John, I'm talking about Jimmy Uso. So Trinity and John end up showing up, and everyone's mood goes up because the two of them together are so funny to watch. They have the sweetest relationship. They do have their issues with one another, but they keep their relationship very fresh and alive. They're still very flirty with one another. They joke with each other a lot. And I just think that that's important, to be able to laugh with the person you're in a relationship with. I feel like they should be like your best friend. And when I see Trinity and John together, it literally seems like they're the best of friends and that they genuinely like each other. So when they came in, everybody's mood went up completely because the two of them together are hilarious. So Carmela is over there sobbing a little bit in the friggin' elevator. And she's talking about the situation with Nia because she says she feels insulted by being called fake. Now, she's telling Sonya this inside the elevator. She said that she was insulted by Nia calling her fake because there's nothing fake about her except for her fake tan. She said her hair and her tan is the only thing fake about her. I don't know if that's true, Carmela, but I'm going to take your word for it just for the sake of getting this video done. So Carmela literally went to everyone, the female wrestlers and the male wrestlers, telling them what Nia said to her. And I'm like, girl, didn't Sonya just tell you in the hallway that if she goes around telling everybody about what happened, it's going to make Nia even more mad? And Carmella's saying she don't care about it. And I'm just like, girl, you are going to every single person. So that's how rumors be starting backstage, because she's running around here telling everybody. And when I say everybody, I mean she told everybody, even the male superstars who probably don't give a damn what goes on in the female locker room. I was like, oh my God, this is going to get worse, because she's literally not keeping her mouth shut. She's telling everyone. So Nia goes up to Nattie and tells her that she made Carmela cry because she called her fake and told her that she doesn't like her. And so Nattie looked completely shocked. And Nia was like, what, am I supposed to lie? And Nattie was like, yes. It's like, Nattie, no. She's not supposed to lie, but she could have talked to Carmela somewhere other than the arena where they're getting ready to have the Royal Rumble match and say that stuff to her. But Nattie was like, yes, you're supposed to lie. And I'm just like, Nattie, you are the worst person to take advice to when it comes to things like this, because you're literally telling her to pretend like she likes Carmela. And Nattie was telling Nia that she needs to learn how to be fake. And Nia was like, no, I can't be fake. And I believe Nia. I don't think she can possibly be fake, because she tells people all the time how she feels about them. I seen in one episode where she told what's her name? She told Lana about herself. So I'm just like, I don't know. But Nattie was also saying, though, that Nia has a history of getting really snippy with people and talking to people in a degrading type of way. So if Nia has a history of doing this kind of thing, she's really going to get a bad reputation within the whole locker room, male and female. And people are not going to want to work with her if they feel like that's the way she comes off. So hopefully she makes some type of changes. But Nattie's advice was not good. Sonya talks about how she's newly single because her and her girlfriend were in a long distance relationship, and everybody knows that when you work for WWE, you're gone for long periods of time and you don't get to see your family or your significant others very much. Not a lot. They're making some changes with that now within the WWE, but at this time it was really difficult. And so her and her girlfriend had ended up breaking up, and it was mainly her girlfriend's idea to end the relationship because of the fact that they're both so busy and then they don't get time for each other. So it's just like, Sonya needs to find somebody who can deal with her lifestyle. being that she's away so much, you have to be able to deal with that hectic lifestyle. And so if her girlfriend can't handle it, then she needs to move on and find somebody else to be with. The ladies say right before the Royal Rumble match that if the issues with Nia and Carmela mess up their match, they'll be pissed because the women are trying really hard now to make sure that their matches are even better than the men's. And I have to say that a lot of the female matches are better than the men's matches now. Ever since the women have gotten more opportunities, I feel like some of their matches outshine the men's matches. So Nattie entered the match at number 2. So if she lasts in that ring, she's going to be in there for a very long time because she's number 2. And with the Royal Rumble matches, there's 30 people that enter the match, okay? 30 women are going to enter the match. And at the end, there'll only be one left. In order to be eliminated, you have to be thrown over the top rope and both your 2 feet touch the floor. Now, Trinity always does these tricks at the Royal Rumbles where she gets thrown off the top rope, but her feet don't touch the ground. And what she did this time was she got on the barricade, okay? And she jumped from the barricade where that's blocking the audience from the ring. And she jumped from there onto the stairs and made it. She ended up getting punched out of the ring after that. But it was awesome to watch her jump from the barricade onto the stairs with her feet not touching the floor at all. So Nia Jax ends up coming in the ring and she's literally running through everybody at this point. Like, she's literally like a bulldozer running through everyone. And I like Nia. I do think she's being kind of mean to Carmela. In a way, she's coming off slightly bullyish. But I can understand a little bit why she doesn't like Carmela, because some of Carmela's personality can be off-putting sometimes to some people. So she's running through everyone, and Carmela ends up coming into the match, and she knows there's a point that she has to hit Nia. And so Nia told Carmela previously that Carmela's kicks don't look impactful. So, Carmela said she's going to show her what impactful looks like and feels like. And so Carmela kicks Nia twice in the face, okay? And one of the times she connected and it hit Nia in her lip, and Nia said that her lip got busted. Her bottom lip got busted from the kick from Carmela. Now, Nia took it like a champ, even though I feel like if she could, she probably would have beat Carmela's ass for real for kicking her lip like that. But she also said that she probably deserved the kick in the face because of all the mean things that she was saying to Carmela. And although Carmela got her kick in the face to Nia and it probably helped her get through it a little bit, I don't think them two are going to be friends anytime soon. So Carmela goes to Nattie after the match and tells her, and Nattie ends up telling her that she needs to talk to Nia. And Carmela was like, no, I'm done with her. I'm not speaking to her. So please save your breath and don't tell me that I need to go talk to Nia. And I feel like Nattie needs to stop trying to be peacemaker, because when you try to be the peacemaker, you end up being put in the middle between somebody else's issues, and then you become public enemy number 1. Carmela and the other ladies start leaving after the match, but Nia ends up staying because she ends up actually joining the men's Royal Rumble match. And I think she's the 3rd woman to do it, okay? The first one, I think it was Chyna. She joined the men's Royal Rumble match before. And then I think it was Beth Phoenix who did the men's Royal Rumble match before, I believe. And now it's Nia Jax. Correct me if I'm wrong, though, about that. If you watch it, let me know. But she ended up joining the Royal Rumble match, and she beat the hell out of R-Truth, which is typical that they would make R-Truth be the one to get his ass beat by Nia Jax on her way to the ring. So she said that she was happy to be a part of the men's Royal Rumble match because she felt like it was an honor to be able to do it, because not many women have done it before, and that it made her look really tough, and it helped the women's division look like they can handle themselves even in the ring with men. So she felt good about that. She even eliminated a few guys, so I thought she did a pretty good job. She didn't end up winning the men's Royal Rumble match, but I definitely thought that it probably was a good look for her and boosted her career a little bit by being a part of it. So Charlie, Sonya, Carmela, Trinity, and Nattie go to brunch. Charlie is one of the backstage commentators on wrestling. So if you don't know who Charlie is, that's because she's not a wrestler. So They asked Carmela if she's dating someone, and she says she's not dating anyone. She's just trying to live her life because after all those years of being in that very controlling relationship, she now wants to live her life for herself and not anyone else. Now, Carmela says that she's only been with 3 guys her whole life, which is it's a big I know she's not even in her 30s yet. I think she's in her late 20s right now. But that is good too to say that you've only been with like 3 guys or less than that, because Carmela must be like a relationship type of person. She might not be the type who can just hook up. She might be the relationship type, which is why she's only been with 3 guys her whole life. And it's nice to see that Carmela's opening up more about herself in the show so we can get to know her a little bit better, because her character is a little annoying in WWE, and so it's like you got to get to know her outside of her character in WWE, because if you just base it off of that, you may not like her too much because she's kind of annoying. So Sonya says that she's going to help Carmela date and takes her over to the bar. Now, Carmela shades Sonya a little bit and tells her that Sonya thinks she got game, but she really don't have any. And I think Sonya was just trying to put her up on game because she says she thinks like a guy. So she feels like she could help Carmela out. So the two of them go to the bar, and I'm literally laughing because Sonya calls Carmela bougie, and Carmela does come off as extremely bougie, which is okay, but it is a little bit annoying. And so she was telling her all the red flags she should look out for with guys, because the type of girl Carmela is, she's going to expect certain things from men. And so Sonya was trying to tell her all the red flags, and the two of them was literally just laughing the whole time. They weren't even taking each other seriously, and I thought that was fun. It makes me miss having like close friends like that where we can go do funny stuff like that together. So it was nice watching all of them together. So meanwhile, at the table, Charlie asks Trinity and Nattie if Sonya is trying to turn Carmela out because when she said they was going to help her date, it seemed like Sonya was trying to talk to Carmela in that way, but she really wasn't. She was just trying to help her learn red flags when it comes to men. So Trinity tells her that it wouldn't be hard. And the reason why Trinity's telling Charlie that it wouldn't be hard for Sonya to turn out Carmela is because Sonya's actually a pretty woman. She looks like a woman. She has a little bit of edgy, slight tomboyish type of style, but she looks womanly. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully nobody gets offended by me saying that, but like I wouldn't necessarily call her a lipstick lesbian, but I wouldn't call her like manly either. She's definitely in between girly and tomboy. So Nattie says that she heard Carmela isn't single, and so she doesn't believe Carmela's single, and especially because how happy and confident Carmela's been acting lately, she feels like she's in a relationship. And Charlie was saying that she heard the rumors too, because if you watch previous episodes of Total Divas, you will know that a lot of stuff goes on backstage in WWE that we do not know about within all the wrestlers, and rumors start extremely fast. So they're not buying it that Carmela is single. But Trinity is my girl. I love Trinity, and she says she don't give a damn who Carmela's dating after everything she went through with her last relationship. As long as the guy she's dating is making her happy, that's all she cares about. And I love that Trinity's that type of friend. I wish I had a friend like her in my life, because she comes off as she's just literally like that ride or die type of friend, and I like that about her. Ronda ends up telling her husband that she's tired of people asking her when she's going to have a baby, because that happens with all of us in regular life too. Like people who are not famous, if you don't have kids yet, people ask you continuously when you're going to have kids and stuff like that. And so because she's famous, she not only has people in her personal life asking her when she's going to have kids, but she also has reporters and people in general. Just anytime she gets interviewed or recognized, people ask her when she's going to have another kid. When she's going to have a baby, because she doesn't have kids of her own. She just has her stepchildren. And she was saying how she had plans on only being in the WWE for a short period of time and then working on having kids with her husband, but that she didn't realize she was going to fall in love with wrestling as much as she has, and she wants to do it for longer. And she feels like she may be being selfish by trying to keep working instead of having a baby with her husband, but that she's not ready at the time to have a baby, and she doesn't know when she's going to be ready. And I like that her husband supported her in it, and he told her that it's when she's ready. Which it needs to be when they're both ready, but I definitely do think that it's important that he's supporting her and he's not putting pressure on her either. Because I'm sure he knows how much of a hard worker Ronda is. He knew that before he got in a relationship with her and married her. So he had to expect that she was going to want to wait some time to have a baby. So maybe we'll see little Ronda Rousey soon. Who knows? But that's up to her when she decides to do it. Sonya, Trinity, and Carmela meet up for breakfast, and Trinity talks about how she was up all night taking care of John because he was sick. And everybody knows that when men are sick, they act like big babies. But I love how Trinity is always happy when she's talking about her husband. She gets really happy and giddy whenever she talks about him, and I think that there's something really sweet about her relationship with John. So they talk about how they're all happy at the moment, and then Sonya jokes that sex is what's keeping them all happy. So then Carmela joked that penis will do that to you. And then she goes, oh, and vagina too, because, Sonya's a lesbian. And so Sonya told them that she had dated men and had sexual relationships with men before, and that she had great emotional connections with guys, and they would be like best friends. But when it came to sex, the sex was terrible, and she didn't have any physical connection with men in that sense, and that she started dating women, and she realized that that's what she likes. She likes women. Then she was getting ready to call her ex-girlfriend, and Carmela and Trinity went completely against it, told her not to call her, and they stopped her from making a big mistake, because I don't think you should be chasing after anybody, especially if the other person is the one who wanted to end things. And in this case, Sonya's girlfriend wanted to end things at the time. So I just felt like it was important for Carmela and Trinity to be there and tell her, look, don't call her. Let her come to you. Leave it be. Or at least don't hit her up for some time and just let things simmer down a bit. So I thought that was good that they were there for her. Nia and Nattie are in the car talking about the Royal Rumble, and then Nattie brings up how they're going to meet up with the other ladies, and Nia was like, well, what other ladies? And so she told her who was going to be there, and when Carmela's name came up, Nia's face looked like she was skeptical about even going. So Nattie says to her that she's cool with Carmela, and so Nattie and Carmela are friends, but then Nattie's also friends with Nia Jax, so she might feel like she's in the middle of it a little bit. So Nia says that she has a problem with Carmela because Carmela treated her not so great when she was in NXT. That when they were in NXT together, Carmela acted like she could care less about Nia, and she only really wanted to deal with people who were top superstars at the time. So Nia also says that Carmela's scared to get hit, and she doesn't like that because it's putting a damper on what they're trying to do in the women's division. And that is a little bit true with Carmela looking like she's scared to get hit, because she runs and screams a lot if you watch her matches, and it does kind of seem like she's afraid to get hit. So Nattie told her that Carmela is smaller than her, so she has to understand that maybe Carmela is more protective of her body just because she's so small. So she's nervous that things might end up getting ugly during this little lunch, because Nia doesn't bite her tongue, and Carmela keeps on asking Nia these questions because she wants to get the talking over with. So we'll see what ends up happening. The ladies toast to Nattie being the longest woman to last in a Royal Rumble so far. There's only been 2 Royal Rumble matches, but Nattie's lasted the longest, and she was number 2. So the fact that she lasted so long in the match was actually really good. So then Nia kind of shaded all the other ladies, because she was saying how all the ladies left during her match in the men's Royal Rumble. They all left and didn't stay to watch her do it. So Sonya was telling Nia, well, you seemed like you were in a not so good mood that night, so we kind of didn't want to step on your toes. And Nia was saying that she was mad because she had issues with Carmela. So Nia ends up telling Carmela that she makes people's stuff look bad. And when she means stuff look bad, she means that in the match, Carmela makes people's moves look bad. in during the matches, is what Nia was saying. So Carmela was saying that she feels insulted by her saying that because she doesn't feel like she makes people's stuff look bad. And she was saying that at least she doesn't have a reputation of hurting people because Nia, I guess, backstage has a reputation of hurting other wrestlers. Hence the situation with Becky Lynch where she punched her in her face and basically broke her face. So Carmela says that she has been hurt in the ring before, and so she tries to protect herself because she really doesn't want to get injured. And she was saying how, she wants to protect herself in the ring, that what they do is not easy, and she doesn't want to get seriously hurt, which is understandable because you can get really, really hurt. You could die doing some of the moves that they do in wrestling. So Nia said that she's seen Carmela run from hits before, and Carmela was like, well, do you want me to pull up the pictures from when Nikki Bella beat the hell out of me and I had a black eye and cuts all over me? Because her and Nikki Bella had a feud in wrestling at one point, and I guess Nikki really pounded her up and she had a black eye and everything like that. So Carmela says that she's respectful and professional and a good person, and Nia was trying to tell her that just because she speaks her mind doesn't mean that she's not professional and not a good person. And so Nattie tries to break the ice by bringing up pancakes, and I'm like, Nattie, you're going to have to stay out of them two's beef because it's going to put you in it by you keeping on trying to work things out between the two of them. They're going to have to work it out themselves or just agree to not deal with one another unless they have to work each other in a match. Sorry about my dog barking in the background. She does not have any respect at all. So Nia, Nikki Bella, and Brie Bella are going to the premiere for Paige's movie, Fighting With My Family. If you did not see Fighting With My Family, you should definitely go see it because it was a really good movie. I'm not go see it because it's out of theaters now, but they have it on demand and stuff like that, and it was a really good movie. I enjoyed it myself. So they look so nice in their outfits. I love that Nia tried to dress in a way that is kind of like paying homage to Paige. She kind of dressed with the leather jacket and stuff. That's how Paige likes to dress. And so I thought that they looked great. All of them looked really good. So she asked them if they're going to wrestle again. The Bella Twins, I mean. Nia asked the Bella Twins if they're going to wrestle again because Nikki and Brie had retired after the Royal Rumble. After the Royal Rumble, they had retired, but then Nikki and Brie had came back for another run where they had a feud with Ronda Rousey, and after that, they just haven't wrestled ever since. So they said that they weren't going to wrestle anymore and that they're done. Brie's trying to have a second baby, and Nikki was saying how, she with wrestling, you're gone too much and you're away from your family, and she really kind of just wants to settle down, get married, and have some kids of her own. So Nia brings up Nattie because Nattie always says how she wants to be a part of all the firsts in women's wrestling, and they kind of shaded her a little bit, and I thought that was a little fake. Because they were like, be a part of your own first. Don't worry about trying to be a part of everybody else's first. And it's just like the fact that they had that conversation about Nattie and Nattie wasn't present to me was a little bit phony. And I was just like, I don't know about that. But, the Bella Twins and Nattie are really good friends. And maybe Nattie didn't feel like they shaded her, but I felt like she was a little bit shaded in that conversation. So Nia ends up telling Brie and Nikki that she told Carmela she doesn't respect her work and how she's fake and not genuine, and that Carmela ended up crying. Now, it seemed from the way that they showed it that the Bella Twins didn't say that Nia was wrong for anything that she said or did. And then I thought that Nia was being a little bit messy because she ended up telling them that Carmela talked crap about the match she had with Nikki. And I was like, she didn't talk crap about the match she had with Nikki. She just said that when she had wrestled, she doesn't run from hits, clearly, because when she fought Nikki, Nikki beat her up and she had a black eye in her face. So I don't feel like Carmela was talking shit about her match with Nikki Bella at all. And I feel like Nia kind of overplayed that. But overall, I thought this was a pretty good episode. A lot of drama happened in this episode, especially between Nia and Carmela. and we'll have to wait and see what happens the next episode. If you guys have never watched the show Total Divas before, you should definitely check it out and watch some of the older seasons as well if you haven't, because it's a really good show. It's very entertaining. It's a lot of drama, but it's also some really important moments in the show that shows like a sisterhood type of thing, which is also important too, for women to be able to come together with one another. So it's a really good show. If you don't like it, that's fine, but I like the show, so I felt like I wanted to do a review on it. I want to know what shows you guys want me to review, so please go into the comment section and let me know what other shows you would like me to do reviews on, and I will try to get to as many as I can. Like this video, subscribe to my channel. I will be reviewing more shows than just Total Divas. I do Basketball Wives, Love and Hip Hop. I've already started my mixed dish reviews. Real Housewives of Atlanta is getting ready to come out, and I'll definitely be doing reviews of that. Marriage Boot Camp I'll be doing reviews for, and many more shows as they come along. So thank you to my subscribers for all the support. I appreciate you guys so much. I don't even think you guys understand how much I appreciate all of your support. And thank you once again, and don't forget to like this video.